What's up, guys? Hopefully all of you are doing well. Today we're going to be making not one but two Southern 7 flavor pound cakes. These recipes are completely different, and at the end of the video I want you to tell me which one you're going to be making. So let's get started. Let's start with our first Southern 7 flavor pound cake. The ingredients are quite easy, but let's get some formalities out of the way. I'm going to start by taking some room temperature butter that I took out earlier along with the rest of my ingredients. I'm just going to rub the entire inside of the cake pan. Then I just follow up by sprinkling some flour all over the interior of the cake pan, including the tube. There's nothing worse than your cake sticking to the tube in the middle. That way the cake won't release. So you want to make sure you hit all of the areas and then tap out the excess flour. Let's get the dry ingredients sifted. That's flour, baking powder, and salt. Baking powder, not baking soda. And then here's our flavorings. We have vanilla, butter rum, coconut, butter extract. We also have some lemon extract, orange extract, and almond extract. Now, yes, of course, these are 7 flavor pound cakes. However, you can try other combinations that will work for you, especially if you can find these actual extracts. I liked pineapple, butter rum, and coconut. I like the butter rum and the peach. I'm going to link all of these down below so you can find them. I ordered them online. I've used this particular company's extracts for about 2 years now, and I really like them. So you guys can check those out. So we're going to start with a cup of butter, and I'm going to whip that with the sugar till it's nice and fluffy. For the exact measurements to both of these recipes that we're doing today, check out gdseasoning.com. The link will be below in the description. Next, I'm just going to add my eggs one at a time to make sure they are well incorporated before adding the next. Now, whether you're using a stand mixer or a hand mixer, it is important that you stop and scrape your bowl down to make sure all of your ingredients are coming together really well. So just stop and make sure you do that every so often because you want the cake batter to be as smooth as possible. Next, we're going to add our room temperature sour cream, and we're going to follow that up by adding our 7 flavors. Now all we have to do is get that blended really well, and now we're going to alternate our dry ingredients and the remaining wet ingredients. Now our wet ingredients just so happens to be a peach brandy. Now, for those of you who don't cook with alcohol, please read the recipe closely because there is where I'll tell you how to get around using the brandy. However, those of you who do, cheers! So I'm just going to add a cup of the flour mixture, and I'm going to alternate with the peach brandy. Now, since I'm using a peach liqueur or a peach brandy, you can go ahead and swap that out. It just depends on how you want to bend the flavor of the cake. I chose to bend it toward the peach side because it goes well with the other flavorings that we have, the rum and the vanilla and things like that. So you could do whatever you want as far as swapping out those particular ingredients. We're going to bake the cake at 325 degrees for about an hour and 20 minutes. Now, while our first cake is baking, let's get on to the second one, which is a Southern 7 flavor cream cheese pound cake. We're going to start with 1.5 cups of butter and 8 ounces of cream cheese. Yes, this cake is going to be extremely dense and moist, but oh so good. I'm just going to blend those together with the sugar and mix them again till they're nice and fluffy. I've switched up the flavors just a bit. We have our vanilla extract, butter rum, peach, pineapple, we still have coconut, and I've also added some maple, and we still have our butter extract. So on this combination, I swapped out the lemon, orange, and almond for peach, pineapple, and maple. We're going to add our eggs one at a time, making sure each one is blended well before adding the next. The steps are the same. Now I'm just going to alternately add my flour mixture and a little bit of buttermilk, very little, only about 1/4 of a cup. There it is right there. And then I'm going to add some more of my flour mixture. So our batter is ready. Absolutely beautiful batter. However, it is very dense. You can look at it and tell that it's quite dense. I got a comment under one of my other pound cake videos saying, did I make a mistake? You know, my cake was really dense. No, dear, you didn't make a mistake. If you followed the directions, you did just right. It is a pound cake, and pound cakes tend to be much more dense than the average bundt or layer cake, all right? So you guys will be just fine. We're going to bake it, again, at 325 degrees for about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes. So our first 7 flavor pound cake is done. That's the one with the brandy and the sour cream. We're just going to let it sit in the pan for about 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to, ooh, that was close. Trust me, if I had messed up just a little bit, we would have kept it pushing. No. But it came out fine. We're going to let that cool, and in the meantime, my other cream cheese 7 flavor pound cake was done. Always remember to let your cakes cool completely before you ice them. What I tend to do is clean up the kitchen while they're cooling. And don't they look cute sitting next there to each other? They look like twins, don't they? Yeah, well, they won't be for long once my people get a hold of them. So I just made the icing out of some powdered sugar and some half and half or milk. You can use a combination of all 7 or some of the flavorings that you used in the cake. When I used all 7, I used a 1/4 teaspoon of all 7 and it came out really great, and I mixed it in and just poured it over the cake. For the cream cheese pound cake, I decided to do a little maple icing. I poured in a drop. I gave it a taste to see how it was going to taste, and then I went back and I added more. I added about a capful. Like I said, you can always add more of the flavorings if you like. Here's a fun fact. Where did pound cake get its name? Well, it's based off of a very old recipe, which is probably what our great-great-grandparents made, and it indicated the amount of each ingredient you needed. A pound of butter, a pound of sugar, a pound of eggs, and a pound of flour. That is all that a pound cake consisted of back then. So any pound cake that you eat now is a rendition off of that very, very old recipe. Okay, both of these cakes are extremely moist, and either one will serve the purpose of giving you the pound cake you want. My favorite, of course, is the cream cheese version. Let me keep it real with you for a second. I couldn't run this video last month because I didn't give you enough time to be able to find the extracts you would probably need for the recipe. A lot of the pure extracts that we use today in these recipes can be found at your local grocery store or your nearest baking supply shop. If you can't find them there, be sure and check the links below so that you can order them online. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You know I appreciate it when you come cook with me and hang out. Don't forget this recipe and others can be found at gdseasoning.com. And I'll see you guys next time.